Stopping this rumination helped me incredibly. So, just a few days later, I'm almost completely out of my pain. So ruminating in the context of pain is when you are constantly thinking about the pain. You're thinking about the threat that it poses. You're thinking about the causes of the pain. It's almost like your brain has bought into the storyline that is constantly going around and around and around. Distraction is so powerful. It also gives us an appreciation for the fact that pain is a conscious experience constructed in your brain. When you realize that it can be disrupted or broken by distraction, you gain that appreciation for the fact that pain is, like I've said, a brain output more than anything else. So that's the first thing that really helped me during this flare-up right now. So I started to do activities that distracted me. So hobbies, watching a movie, going out for coffee. I did that this morning, reading my book. These are all things that I'm passionate about that really helped me with my pain. The second thing that I realized I was doing is I was ruminating about the pain. So ruminating in the context of pain is when you are constantly thinking about the pain. You're thinking about the threat that it poses. You're thinking about the causes of the pain. It's almost like your brain has bought into the storyline that is constantly going around and around and around. And realizing or becoming aware of the fact that I was ruminating and stopping this rumination helped me incredibly. So, just a few days later, I'm almost completely out of my pain. So stopping ruminating was really helpful. So in order to stop ruminating, you need to be aware that you are thinking about your pain a lot. So any negative thoughts around your pain can often exacerbate the pain experience. It's almost like thinking about the pain adds fuel to the fire. It makes the pain bigger. It makes the pain more worrisome, more intense. The pain decreases your quality of life even more. Thinking about the pain, catastrophizing about the pain, like I said, is like adding fuel to the fire. It's like pouring gasoline on the fire, and in this sense makes your pain a lot worse. So to stop the rumination, you first need to be aware of your thinking patterns. And in my life, I'm glad to say that I've done a lot of mindfulness meditation. So I'm quite aware of my thinking, and I can often catch myself. And if I catch myself thinking about certain topics related to pain, I can quite quickly stop it. So what I've typically done is I've noticed when my brain is almost like buying into a particular narrative around pain, and I can stop it. And one thing that's particularly helped me is when I notice that I'm thinking about my pain, that I'm catastrophizing about my pain, that I'm ruminating, and I'm thinking of the causes, I'm thinking of how long it's going to be there for, I'm thinking about if I can still function tomorrow. When these thoughts come up, I've given that storyline a particular name. So I say to myself, okay, brain, that's the pain story. Thank you for that. But I'm going to choose not to buy into it. I'm going to choose not to listen to it. And this is where acceptance and commitment therapy has really helped me. And acceptance and commitment therapy, you can read more in this book, The Happiness Trap, over here, which I'll link to. Acceptance and commitment therapy, it basically allows us to identify our thoughts and our feelings almost as separate entities and to stop struggling against them, to stop buying into them so heavily. So when I start ruminating about my pain, about what's caused it, how long it's going to happen for, like I said, I say to my brain, okay, that's the pain story. Thank you, brain. But I'm not going to listen to the pain story today. These two things, the distraction and stopping ruminating, have helped me so much. It's really incredible. One other thing that I really love from acceptance and commitment therapy is this book by Russ Harris I mentioned to you earlier. He says that when your brain is thinking of certain thoughts, you can often imagine those thoughts being said in the voice of a certain character. So I've got certain characters that I imagine those thoughts being, narrated in their voice. It's really helpful in externalizing the thoughts or realizing how separate they are from you and realizing you have a choice. You don't have to, buy into this narrative or go down this rabbit hole with these thoughts. I use this app, Headspace, a lot, and they have this really beautiful analogy there. Think about your thoughts almost like cars going along a highway. They're constantly going in front of you, just buzzing along. You have a choice whether you want to jump into one of those cars or not. You have a choice if you want to, go down highways and exits and different roads with all of these thoughts. Or you have a choice whether you just let the thoughts pass by. You watch them with mindful awareness. You realize that, they are generated by your brain. They're not always an adequate reflection of what's going on, and you don't always have to buy into them. So I love my cards, and I reminded myself, Alex, don't buy into the pain story. And today I'm happy to say my pain is almost gone entirely. And this is just such progress for me, because in the past it would have been there for so long. So I really hope these two things help you. The power of distraction and the power of stopping ruminating. So one thing you've got to start doing, you've got to start distracting yourself, positive things. And one thing you've got to stop doing, you've got to stop ruminating, buying into that pain story. So the homework for you guys, chronic pain sufferers, there will almost always be a moment when you are not in pain. Please, in the comments, tell me what those things are. Is it when you're doing a puzzle, immersed in a good book, when you're helping out a friend, even when you're experiencing a problem? Problems, definitely. Not that we want problems, but it's not only the positive things that disrupt that pain neurotag. What is it for you that disrupts it? The second thing that you can write in the comments is, how can you externalize these thoughts and not buy into them? I've given the narrative around my catastrophizing and my catastrophic thinking. I've given it the name, the pain story. Can you give that narrative that your brain goes into, can you give that story a name and put it in the comments? I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to say. If you haven't checked out my previous video on mindfulness and self-compassion in the pain experience, please do check that out. That can definitely help. And you can also watch my video on pain and the core fear. So we are getting this toolkit stronger. I'm really excited to be on this journey with you. And I'm so grateful to be able to speak to you and to be doing this, because it's something I'm really passionate about. And even just making this video is reinforcing some really valuable concepts in my own brain. And you guys are really helping me too. So thank you so much for that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I look forward to chatting to you soon.